Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our CrashTalk Sports. I'm Matt Bunton, your host. I am here with
Jayden Foster
and Thomas Larson.
Unfortunately, we're missing Stevie Pagano today, our local Bears fan. 12 inches football. We're starting out with the good old varsity game away
Against River Valley, I think.
That was 2 weeks ago.
It was.
We were up against Yuba City. We won that game. Shut them down 56-0. Incredible game. We had a ton of passing yards, a ton of rushing yards, at least a ton of passing yards for our team. We don't really pass the ball much, but we can definitely see the improvement in our team, especially that passing offense.
The way that Bean is able to just pump out running back after running back, he did that in Lincoln, and he's doing it here. He did it with, what's his name? Nathan
Crawford.
But he's really good at doing that. He schemes it really well. That's all I got.
I would dare to say that he's probably one of the best O-line workers as well, because really you cannot have an amazing running back without an amazing O-line most of the time, not in high school. And honestly, awesome that all his running backs also identify that. I mean, so far, both of them have come out multiple times and said, thank you to my O-line, respect that, that's awesome. But yeah, honestly, there's not too much to talk about there. So we're going to move a little faster pace today. We're going to go straight into the basketball preseason. First sport besides MLB that we're really going to cover, besides football. I think that there's a good amount to actually unpack here, and I think the first thing we should talk about is LeBron James and Bronny playing their first game ever together on the professional level.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of interesting watching Bronny's first game. I know him and LeBron in his first game didn't share the court, but defensively, he did look good. I know in the draft, he had an interview and he said he kind of wanted to feel like a Davion Mitchell role, something like that, more of a defensive role player, which honestly he did. He scored, I think, a layup in rebound. I think he had like 3 blocks, a few steals here and there, pushing the tempo of the offense and making sure everyone's back on defense and whatnot.
Yeah, amazing show on defense. He really put down locks all game. He did great on defense. Now the issue is take a look at that offense that he has, and it's terrible. He only attempted, I think, 3 shots, 3 field goals. He only made 1, and that was at the very near end of that game. He made a 3-point shot. Not impressive whatsoever on that offensive side of the ball. But defensively, he can definitely hold the other team back pretty well.
Yeah, I can see him being a very effective ISO defender.
Ended up losing that game. I won't blame it on Bronny at all. But everybody's saying making history. For the record, they are the first father-son duo to ever play professional game of basketball together. But honestly, mediocre show at best.
Yeah.
And kind of, greatly overrated on their performance. Lost to the Suns, like I said. Besides that, Kings are set to play tomorrow, right?
Yep, playing the Warriors.
Now, I think that we should actually take a quick talk about that Kings team, since I feel like most of the people around here are Kings fans. Myself, I am. I know Miss Toft is also, but a lot of Kings fans around here. And so let's take a look at their roster real quick. We have De'Aaron Fox, who was one of the best players, honestly, last year. I wouldn't say top 10, but probably up there.
I'd say he's pretty easily top 20 in the league right now.
Most likely, overall.
Malik Monk, who got robbed, 6th man of the year. Domantas Sabonis. How many double-doubles did he have?
I think he had 62.
Was it the most in the league?
Year. Most in the league.
Most in the league.
And he was second.
He had some triple-doubles, too.
Yeah, he was second in the league for triple-doubles, only behind the...
Made the All-Star game, too, huh?
Yeah, only behind Jokic for triple-doubles. But yeah, De'Aaron at the 1. I think they're going to start Herder at the 2. Probably DeRozan at the 3. Keegan Murray at the 4. And Sabonis to play the 5. Which I like the lineup. I think if DeMar DeRozan could come in and take an immediate role as a nice, like De'Aaron, obviously probably our primary scorer, but DeRozan can definitely come behind him and just knock down some shots when we need it. And we have the 3-point shooting with Herter and Keegan Murray, and also Murray being a really, really good ISO defender, and Sabonis just can get every board. So I think the Kings should find great success if there's a natural. And then off the bench, we have some depth with Malik Monk being, I'm just going to say it, the clear-cut best six-man in the league.
Now, in the last 20 or so years, we definitely had some playoff problems. I am pretty confident that this can be a year that we can absolutely make the playoffs, maybe even make it farther in. Are we a championship team? Probably not.
Not yet.
Now, who are the championship teams? I think that's a good way to segue in. I mean, let's be real. I'd say that Celtics are probably pretty likely to repeat. I feel like
so too.
Most people are, especially the experts, are saying, you know what, they have an amazing roster right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even take away Jason Tatum, right, who is already probably top 7 in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Or, sorry,
top 5, yeah.
NBA. And, you still have a high playoff roster.
Mm-hmm.
And just amazing talent on that team. Good coaching. I think that they have a good chance at repeating. Jane, what are your thoughts on this?
I hate the Celtics and I hate Jason Tatum, so I'm gonna have a lot of bias and say they are going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, the Eastern Conference right now is pretty star-studded. Not taking anything away from the Western Conference, we do have those good teams, being the Mavericks with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, and the Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards, and a few other teams I'm probably forgetting. Kings should be up there pretty soon. Always the Lakers, the Warriors, if they can stay healthy or get newer, younger players. But something big that's happened somewhat recently was the trade from Karl-Anthony Towns to the Knicks from Minnesota. It was kind of
unnecessary. It was pretty unnecessary. Yeah. Really weird, to be honest.
Honestly, came out of left field. I didn't really see Cat leaving anytime soon.
Yeah, he stuck with them for...
that was his team that drafted him.
Yeah, he stuck with them through the hardships when they sucked, and then they just decided to ship him out, which is probably very heartbreaking for him. He was in the gym with his father the morning before the trade, and I kind of feel for him because who really wants to be a New York Knick? Let's be honest.
Well, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Oh, yeah, they have Jalen Brunson.
Not just him, but he is a very, very good player and a big piece to that offense.
Now, last thing I want to talk about NBA for now is we saw the rise of a lot of amazing rookies last year. Obviously, the one I want to talk about is Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
And right now, just obviously, fantasy is not what you should always go off of, but it's between him. It's basically him for number 1 fantasy pick.
I'd say so. He's an all around, just he can do everything.
Already proved himself as a top 5 center in the NBA, and maybe even higher up.
Could be. I think there's probably, I could give it to Jokic and Embiid, and that's probably the only 2 I could give the upper hand from Wembanyama.
Slightly much.
Luka.
Centers.
Oh, you're talking about centers? I'm talking about number 1 pick in fantasy. I would take Luka every time.
Now, I'm taking Luka personally.
Luka or Jokic, yeah. We already have our draft order set, and I have second pick, and number 1 player is probably going to either take Jokic or Luka. So whoever he doesn't take, I'm more than likely taking, but Wembanyama is definitely in the conversation for up there.
Me personally, my take is Luka number 1, Wembanyama number 2 is how I would go, but it's really up to preference. A lot of people aren't that high on him for fantasy, but that's not really what we're here to talk
just because he's still young, and rookies historically haven't been like, they have to be the number 1 pick. But
yeah,
when you're
basically a unanimous rookie of the year, and probably going to be an all-star unless there's, God forbid, a gruesome injury that basically submits him from playing at the level he has been playing with so far.
Okay, now heading on to what we like to talk about around here, NFL. And I mean, there's a lot to cover. Eagles had a bye week, so we're gonna be spending some more time on some other teams this week. And I think we should, you know what? Actually, let's do something really different. We're gonna start off on that Monday Night Football, actually, which almost got canceled due to the hurricane.
Who doesn't love a little bit of 1 a.m. football?
But you know what? It came through. CD was a bust for me in fantasy, but I still won. So Stevie's not here, so I'm going to gloat about it as much as I can. I played him.
What was that? The Cowboys and the Chiefs?
Cowboys versus Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, it was a terrible game.
I thought that was Sunday night, actually. Monday.
That was a Sunday night game.
That was Sunday night.
Right.
Monday is Chiefs Saints.
Yeah, Monday was Chiefs Saints. We're talking about Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thoughts on the game? It was terrible. It was a terrible game.
It was a boring game.
People definitely put up that game, I feel like, to watch because they expected it to be good, and then it just wasn't. It was. I'm always for a defensive game. I'm never for just a lame game. It's like there was no real defensive plays. It was just people failing to score.
Yeah. And for the Chiefs to beat the Saints by, what was it, 3 points?
They ended up winning by 11, I think, in the end. I think it was 24-13.
Oh.
But it was a very close game throughout the entire time, honestly, until that very end, where I believe there was a touchdown scored by the Chiefs on one of the last drives, which came in pretty clutch.
I think it was like Rashee Rice or something like that.
Rashee Rice is getting ACL surgery. He hasn't even played since he got.
Oh no, it was Xavier Worthy. That's who it was.
Yeah, Xavier Worthy, honestly, already looking like one of the better picks in the draft.
Why did Buffalo trade? Why?
Nobody knows.
Are they trying to keep the Chiefs dynasty going? I would think as Buffalo, you'd be like, I hate the Chiefs, so I would never trade them anything. And then you go ahead and let them trade up and steal really athletic guy.
Wasn't he the one that set the combine record at the 40?
I think so.
Yeah, you're in a 4-2-1. Yeah.
Got a little mini Tyreek who's lighter than Devontae Smith, which is kind of scary. He can get rocked around a lot. Maybe might be injury prone later, but right now he's looking good, and that's all that matters.
That is really what matters, and he's also a player that can develop more skillfully, because I feel like right now, and this is something I notice a lot with certain teams, they'll pick players that are extremely athletic, because you can't really always teach athletic and genetics, but you can definitely teach someone how to catch a football. So they're taking the more athletic option and hoping Coach Reed can work his magic, which it looks like he already has.
Bang, bang, Niner gang. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Bang, bang, Niner gang.
I think now, unfortunately for you guys, I think it's time we talk about that Niner game.
I feel like Niners. How about them Niners, right?
Honestly,
embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's the first word that comes to mind.
Ayuk is back, looking like a $30 million receiver again. Hopefully he can keep that up. Really, the Cardinals definitely earned that win. We shot ourselves in the foot. Sure. We lost our kicker. He sprained his ankle.
You can't blame yourself completely. You guys could have had multiple field goals if Moody was not out.
And we signed a
we signed the Chiefs kicker or something. Not Butker, but I think his backup or something like that.
We signed a free agent. He played for the Chiefs previously. Matthew Wright. Yeah, he's had a career field goal percentage of 85.1, which is serviceable. He should be he should be just fine. He doesn't have that big of a leg, but Moody definitely had a big leg. It's just his accuracy issues for him. So fourth downs might look a little bit different. We might be going for it a little bit more often. But yeah, Purdy did not play that well. Although both of his interceptions were tips, which is one of his downsides because he's 6'1". It's a downside of having a short quarterback.
Yeah.
But definitely having a horrible O-line. Oh my god, that O-line is so bad.
Yeah.
Colton McFitz needs to get cut. But we won't because we have literally nobody else to play that position. Our defensive coordinator needs to be fired, but he won't get fired because him and Shanahan are twinning up with mullets for whatever reason. But just a heartbreaking loss. But the Niners have come back from worse. We started similarly in 2021, and we ended up making the NFC Championship game. We started similarly in 2022. We made the NFC Championship game again. Although last year we did start 5-0. But look, it's not panic time yet. If we can't beat the Seahawks, maybe it is, but we can still very much be in control. If we beat the Seahawks and the Cardinals lose, I'm pretty sure we're first place. We may not be though, but I'm pretty sure we will be.
So one thing I do want to talk about, because you mentioned fourth downs, let's talk about the Washington Commanders game. I don't know if you guys heard, but they went for it on fourth down quite a bit. I think there were no punts that game. Final score of that game, 34-13. But
the Browns are a dumpster fire.
Absolutely terrible. Maybe they'll be better when Nick Chubb comes back, which he is expected.
Yeah, Nick Chubb behind that O-line. Oh god, he's gonna injure himself again.
He's gonna break his leg again.
Yeah, he's injured that knee once in college, similarly, and then again in the NFL. I'll be surprised if he comes back and averages 5 yards a carry, to be honest.
Let's talk about Nick Chubb real quick. He, as most people know, he tore, I believe, all 3 ligaments in his leg, in his knee, which is MCL, ACL, and PCL. And so he's had a pretty big recovery time. There was questions on whether or not he would be back at the start of the season. He wasn't. And so they put him on the physically unable list, and then he's just opened up his 21-day practice window, which means he is eligible to come back within any of those 21 days, in case you are not aware of what that means. And so what does that mean for Nick Chubb? That means, because he did open it up last week on Wednesday. So what does that mean? He's had 6 days so far at time of recording, which means likely 8 days when this podcast comes out. He has another 2 weeks before he is unable to participate for the rest of the season. And he is likely to probably not end up participating until that practice window is nearly finished. Most people are projecting that he's going to come back on that 21st day. But there is chances that he comes back this week. There's a chance that he comes back next week.
I think it'll be really stupid if they bring him back against the Eagles. I think they should wait until they play Cincinnati for sure. The Eagles' rush defense, I think it's decent.
It's pretty good. They haven't performed well this season necessarily, but if you look at the running backs they've gone up against, you have Bijan Robinson.
Stud.
Bijan, dude, that dude's a bust.
He is not a bust.
He's a bust in fantasy. So is Breece Hall. Breece Hall is losing snap shares, and he was taken as the second running back off the board.
I believe in my league he was the 4th overall pick, which is
dude,
crazy.
Tyreek, another bust, fantasy bust. All throughout this year have been insane. I am so glad I didn't pick any of those guys. Oh.
Bears won, but we're not going to talk about that because Stevie's not here to actually fill us in. Bears suck. Can say that because he's not here. And I think that's all we have time for today, guys.
Just about.
Thank you guys for coming on. As always, awesome having you guys. And we're signing out. This is Matt Bunton.
Jayden Foster.
And Thomas Larson.
Signing off.